Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. Hello everybody, welcome back for yet again another great video. This is your host KG. Welcome back to Guevara Digital Assets. Yeah, let's get it. All right, folks, so first and foremost, we always have to pay our tribute to the behemoth, none other than Bitcoin. Folks, for those of you who don't know, here at Guevara Digital Assets, we are here to educate you guys on everything that I can about digital assets. You guys are going to learn that there are different people who show you things with different intentions, and I truly just want you guys to learn as much as you can. This is not ever financial nor investment advice. I am not a financial advisor. If you guys need a financial advisor or financial investment advice, you should see a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. We can have conversations, I can say, that we can do. But you should definitely see a financial advisor if you don't know about investing or have any questions beyond what you can do the research for yourself. I am merely another YouTuber on YouTube giving you guys the juice. I've been into digital assets for some years now. 2017 is actually when I got into digital assets, just to give you guys an idea. And it's funny because they say that after like 10,000 hours, you're like a professional in like whatever you're studying in. And I have gone over 10,000 hours on digital assets, like learning so many times over. It's like crazy. Not that I'm a professional or anything, because by any means I am not. I'm just saying, like, I've been around this block a while. So I always like to pay tribute to Bitcoin, because one thing I've noticed since the beginning, when I saw Bitcoin at like $800, folks, I wish I bought more of it back then. Just because, I mean, look at hindsight now. You wish you can, go back and buy it, even if it's at $20,000. Like, you just wish that you just bought and held, and maybe if you could score some at 3,000, like, obviously that's a better deal. But you just sit there and look at Bitcoin, folks. The reason why I want to look at this is because let's look at the metrics. All right, so right now, Bitcoin's market cap is currently $2,228,226,030,755. The 24-hour trading volume is $31,472,688,119. Circulated supply of Bitcoin currently is 19,901,884 Bitcoin, with a max supply of 21 million Bitcoin that can ever exist. Now that's important, because if there were only 21 million houses in all of the United States, that would already be scary if all the people of the United States had to fit in the 21 million houses. So that's a good question. Let's check to see how many houses are there in America. I'll call it that. Okay, so in the United States, there are approximately 147,947,000 total housing units as of the second quarter of 2025, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. This includes both occupied and vacant properties. A significant portion, about 82 million, are single-family homes. See, when I see that, folks, 147 million total housing units, what I think to myself, when 330 million people don't have places to live, it lets me know that real estate is not a commodity that should be speculated with. I feel like real estate should be a public good, and there should be a price, but the price shouldn't be much over the cost of building the home. There should not be a markup on real estate like there is now. And if there is, it has to be controlled. What's happening now is ridiculous. You have homelessness at all ages because people cannot afford where to live. And it's abundantly clear that with 147,947,000 houses or housing units, there is more than enough units for everybody to live in. Now imagine when all these people realize that instead of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10%, 15% or whatever, they can get into digital assets and run into things like this. So this here, folks, is on the 3-month. On the 3 months, Bitcoin is up 20.9%, folks. Like, that's substantial. That's like if you bought a house for $1 million and in 3 months is now valued at basically 1.2 million because it's up 20.9%, almost 21%. That's solid. All right, you think that's the only one? You know, that's a good asset. All right, let's go check out another one. This is Ethereum, another behemoth, another goat. 24 hours, it's up 5.3. All right, 7 day ain't looking too good. But look at the 1 month. On the 1 month, Ethereum is up 47.4%, beast mode. And on the 3 months, oh my God, 105.7%, folks. And on the 1 year, up 37%. So that just shows you that you're not missing out on much. You want to go crazy? Look at this. I wouldn't even, should I? Yeah, let me show you. Look at this. This is when you hit max, that means like from inception. Look how much Ethereum is up by. Bam. 129.75 thousand. That is 129,000 for every $1 you could have spent. When I think of these things, I just sit there and I want to choke. And that's why with the whole ETHgate thing, which if you guys don't know what that is, look that up. Do your own research. Not financial or investment advice. But 129,000%. That's, imagine the people that got in at that bottom price. And let's say that they spent, like, let's say even 10,000, nothing crazy. Even 10,000. Oof. That's crazy. Let's do the math on that. All right, so oof. So that is a 1,290x. So now if they put $10,000 there, oof. If they put $10,000, that's $12.9 million, folks. Based on those numbers. Had they put $10,000 whenever this chart started recording. And that's supposing that they never sold and played with the market. But that's 10,000. Imagine if you're you were balling, you put $100,000 at that time. Oof, folks, that's $129 million from a $100,000 investment. Now, folks, tell me that doesn't sound worth it to you. And that's why I know that digital assets is for me, folks. Because I know that even if Ethereum doesn't go up 129,000, I'm still going to make money. Because look at this, on the 3 months, you're still looking at 105%. That's solid. And again, that's not the only one, folks. Let's look at XRP. XRP is another behemoth. 24 hours, up 4.7. 7 days. All right, this week wasn't too good. But look, on the 1 month, 1 month up, okay, 38%. But okay, 3 months. Ooh, 3 months, 42%. All right, okay, that's the one. So on the 1 year, so on the shorter time frame, XRP hasn't been doing too big numbers, but that's because XRP is very stable. That's what people don't understand. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have more volatile swings. And XRP, you see, it was down here right before election day. Look at that, 50 cents. Look at that. That's crazy. November 2nd, XRP was 50 cents. Like, good God, like, what blessing could that have been for anybody to purchase XRP before November 2nd? Because right now, if you wanted 10,000 XRP, folks, 10,000 XRP today, XRP at $3.05, that's $30,500. Like, wow. Wow. All of that from a $5,000 investment. Wow. So you could have turned $5,000, folks. 10,000. Yep. So 10,000 XRP. Yep. Times 50 cents. That's 5,000. And then at today's price, which is $3.05. Yeah. 30,500. Wow. Talk about return your investment. And that's just 10,000 XRP, which is only 5,000, like $5,000. Like, the reality is that most people that were into digital assets back then, you got more than that. You know, just because you weren't from back then. Because, you know, like, let's say you had 5,000. Let's say you had $5,000 you put in back then. And back then, XRP was like 10 cents. At 10 cents, if you had $5,000, Jesus. Divided by... If you would have spent $5,000 back in 2017, let's go to, let's press all. See, I just want you guys to know, because this isn't me just guessing. I just know these numbers because I was in the market. Okay, so look, this is, let me just show you. So this is look at that, January 2017. So it really depends on when you got in. Good God. Now, I was not in January of 2017, but my goodness, I just want to show you guys. Look at this. Let me zoom in. I want you guys to take a closer look. January 7th, 2017. Good God. XRP was 0.06. Now, for those of you who don't know that number, that means less than a penny. It was just over half a penny for 1 XRP. Good God. Oof, let that sink in, folks. All right, let me move over. So that's January. So February, oh my God. In February, the price dropped. Oof. Now, folks, let me stop at that. So this is February 2017. At this price, folks, with the same $5,000, we're not gonna go with nothing larger. Right now, just 5,000 divided by 77700. Oh my God! With $5,000, you could have gotten 865,501 XRP compared to what? Good God. See how this is what I try to tell you guys. It's not timing the market, it's time in the market for the most part. It's a little bit of both, but for the most part, your time in the market is so valuable. Like, wow. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. 865,501. Folks, at today's price, are you guys ready? That $5,000 investment in XRP, you would have had $2.6 million. That's crazy. That makes me almost want to cry, actually. Look at this. So, 865,000 times the $3.05. Look at that. So it is $2,639,778 with 43 cents. Wow, that's so sad. Yeah, that does make me want to cry, actually. I wish I had right now 2.6 million. In fact, you know, honestly, for right now, I'll even take like 800,000. I won't even be greedy, you know, just for now. I'm okay with that. I would just want to change the quality of life for my family. You know, I have 5 kids, so we're always doing something. So I'm like, you know, let me try recording digital assets. That way I can be home with my family more. But, you know, I gotta do more recording so I can, you know, kind of try to monetize this. But I know a lot of stuff, and I've been in digital assets for a while, so, you know, it's pretty interesting, you know. For example, speaking of Ethereum and Bitcoin, you know, I remember when Mike Novogratz, you know what I mean, bought some, you know, Bitcoin, you know. I remember when Tim Draper, you know, won some auctions, you know, for large lots of Bitcoin that were confiscated, you know, by somebody who honestly is a pioneer in the Bitcoin and digital asset space. So his name was Ross William Ulbricht. The person who operated the online black market known as Silk Road was Ross Ulbricht. He used the online pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. The name Silk Road itself refers to a network of ancient trade routes that connected the East and West. People who traversed these ancient routes for trade purposes were generally referred to as merchants or traders. All right, so, you know, I don't know. This dude basically, I guess, used to he ran a very sophisticated online marketplace, and the currency that he accepted, I guess, amongst other things, I don't know, but I guess was Bitcoin. But look at what they call him, you know, the American hacker. Like that should be prestige. Like we should be, he's an American hacker. Come on, man. Take care of this man. No. But yeah, folks, another question that I don't know if you guys knew, but 31861. So if you were to take the trading volume of Bitcoin and divide it by the number of minutes in a day. Now I want to ask, how many of you know how many minutes there are in a day? Now I'm going to count quick. 3, 2, 1, 1,440. Let's see who beat me. Compared to what? Let's ask Google. How many? Remember I said 1,440. For those of you who guessed 1,440 minutes, just like me, even if it was a little bit slower, oof, my God, you're correct. And for those of you who said it faster than they came out of my mouth, congratulations to you. And for those of you who knew that there are 1,440 minutes in 24 hours, congratulations to you folks. When you grab Bitcoin's current 24-hour trading volume, just 31,864,423,968. Oof. Compared to what? When you take that, folks, and divide it by the number of minutes there are in a day, look what happens when you hit enter, or as Mac likes to say, return. Look at that number, folks. 31,864,423,968 divided by 1,440 is 22,128,072 with 20 cents. Let that sink in, folks. That's how much dollars were transacted in Bitcoin per minute the last 24 hours. So the last 24 hours, every single minute, $22 million in Bitcoin on average were transacted in. Now, folks, if that's not an amazing economy, I don't know what is. Bitcoin is a global economy, folks. That's why I knew that Bitcoin in the digital asset space was for me, because oof, that is beautiful. That is what I call use case. Many people may not call it that, but my goodness, Bitcoin transacts in the trillions of dollars annually. So, I mean, make that make sense, you know. So this is one of the companies that, as of recently, has been snapping up a bunch of Bitcoin. So, I mean, on Monday, Metaplanet snapped up 463 Bitcoin, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is, folks. That's roughly about $53.7 million. And because they are a Japanese company, they spent about 8 billion Japanese yen on that. Average price on that was about 115,895, because as you start buying, unless you buy over the counter, prices can change. Metaplanet said in a statement, this brought Metaplanet's Bitcoin holding to 17,595 Bitcoin. Now, folks, I just want you to understand that that's not $17,000 worth of Bitcoin, because each Bitcoin they bought was about an average price of a little over $115,000. So no, folks, that's not $17,000 worth. That is 17,595 of the most premier treasury tier 1 asset as of right now. Now, that may change in the future as it may become XRP, folks, not financial nor investment advice. Just after all my research and all the learning that I do, that's just a trend that seems to be like setting in, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. That's just a trend. You know what I mean? But it's also trending that Bitcoin is supposed to be outdone by Ethereum. You know, like that's just the trend. Again, that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but that is the trend, folks. And the trend is your friend, is what I've noticed in all my time in digital assets. That's why here at Guevara Digital Assets, I'm not here just to read the news and what's on there. I'm also here to tell you guys a little bit of what I think and what's in my repository of knowledge. Because, folks, I've been in this for a little bit longer than you guys. So when you guys see red on the markets, when you guys see blood on the markets, I see buying opportunities. You know, when you guys see that some companies sold or whatever, I see, well, they're going to be poor in the future. You know, you guys get scared, and I don't. I get excited because I have conviction in this market. I know what direction we're going in. Meta Planet from Japan, they do too. The reality is that that's just one company, you know. But as White House crypto rules bring SEC and CFTC clarity to U.S. crypto firms, there is going to be more digital asset companies, especially in America, that will be popping off like that, folks. One such great success story is this one. So again, MicroStrategy, which rebranded to just Strategy. I don't even know why it looks like that, but on the 24 hours, they are up 5.8%. You see that on the 5 week, which is on the 5 days, which is their week. See, everything was down this week. For the month, they're down 2. However, for 6 months, they're up 11%. Year to date, oof, look at that, 29.9. That's not bad because we are in, we actually just crossed August. So 29%. And you divide that, if we're in August, that's 8 months. So 29 divided by 8, that's about 3.625% per month that they've increased on average. Year to date. 1 year, which is 12 rolling months. Look at that. They are up 196.33%. And in 5 years, folks, I hope you're sitting down. 3,043%, folks. Look at that. Ooh. My goodness. Look at that. Ooh. Folks, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Folks, isn't that amazing? So that's a 30x on anything. Look at, that's a 30x, folks. Now imagine if you had real estate again, and I just want to use round numbers, but actually let's use 500,000 times 30. That's a $500,000 house turning into $15 million in a span of 5 years. The probability of that, folks, I'm probably going to say is close to 0. I don't think real estate is a bad gig. I'm just saying that when people that own real estate realize that they can be earning investment returns like this, woo, they're going to start selling all their real estate, and you're going to watch. It's going to be a race to the bottom for real estate because real estate shouldn't be so expensive. I shouldn't have to mortgage my life to be able to have a home for my family, my kids. That's why I rent. I was going to buy real estate, and I'm like, that's stupid. I might as well look into something where I can make money on, because with real estate and interest rates so high, it's abundantly clear that this isn't working. Now, if you want to tariff the whole world, go ahead. But you can't tariff we the people, because we the people are we the people. We run this shit. Excuse my French. Try to keep it PG in case anybody's listening with their kids. But it just gets me so mad that they keep taxing we the people when they should be investing on things like this. Now imagine if our U.S. Treasury and everything had invested on something that went up 3,044% in the last 5 years. You know, and like, let's say that that's what they invested, the $37 trillion that they have as our national debt. Like, let's get serious. Like, what would that even look like? Let's look at that. Actually, let's ask Google, because I can't even say enough. Look at this. What is 37,190,217,800,000 times 30?
37,190,217,800,000 times 30 is 1,115,706,534,000,000.
So we would have basically had $1.1 quadrillion. We would have made $1.1 quadrillion by investing in something that went up 3,034%. All right. So peep game. I just want to show you guys compared to what, folks. That's why you guys watch Guevara Digital Assets, because folks, I'm telling you, this is what I do, folks. And the reason why that's important, folks, because look how important it is to be into the right assets at the right time. So MicroStrategy is a company that invests in Bitcoin. In fact, they are, I believe, the largest public company that owns Bitcoin, and they own a ton of it. Let's quickly just, we'll look at that in a minute. But look at this. So again, they buy Bitcoin. That's what they do. But look how amazing they are as a company. In the last 5 years, MicroStrategy is up 3,045%, folks, which is amazing. That's roughly a 30.4x. And Bitcoin itself in the last 5 years is only up 876%. So MicroStrategy outdid the number one producing asset by buying the number one producing asset. You see how amazing that is? Like, wow, 876. And look at that. Let's check this out. So hold on. Bitcoin. Look at XRP in the last 5 years, 931%. Look who also outpaced the number one digital asset, Bitcoin. It was XRP, baby. Look at that. That's crazy. Ooh, look at that. That's just crazy. Look. And I want to show you guys. Oh, this is a perfect one to show you guys, because I just want to show you guys. Everybody sees it at these higher numbers, you know, $2, $3 and all that. But look at that. So November 9th. Oh, my good God. November 9th, folks, XRP was still 55 cents. And look what it is now. $3.05. November 9th, XRP was still 55 cents, folks. I just want to show you guys. And let's follow this. Look at this. 55, 58, 50, 61, 50, 60, 30. Ooh, there's even a 48 cents. Let me see. Oh, my good God. Look at that. Oh, July 6th. So just after the 4th of July on 2024, XRP, folks, hit 43 cents. Now, if that doesn't make you want to cry, folks, ooh, makes me want to cry. Let's keep going back. Look at that. February 17th. XRP still 55 cents, folks. Do you see that? Can't even make this stuff up. Look at that. October 7th, 2023, 52 cents. 1st of July, 2023, 47 cents. Oh my God. I missed these days. May 28th, 2022, XRP was 39 cents. Oh. Look at COVID days, or like just after, but 2020. Let's look at the end. What's the last? Okay, so this is January 2nd of 2021. Oh my God. XRP was 22 cents, folks. Compared to what? Let's just do some math on that. Folks, at 22 cents, if you had put the same $5,000 into the market, at 22 cents, you would have gotten 22,727 XRP. At today's price, folks, that would give you guys $69,318 from $5,000. Again, it doesn't take a lot of money to make money, but you do need to invest some money, folks, because as these assets appreciate, and again, this is not financial nor investment advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is for learning, entertainment purposes only. Whew. But look, yes, folks. $69,318 is what you could have made buying during COVID or COVID times. Because this is still 22 cents. Who said it's going to stay that high or that low? Let's see. Look at this. Oh, this is all within 5 years. So I've been into digital assets since 2017. So if you think that's crazy, watch. I'm gonna show you what happened during that time frame. Oh yeah, hold on. So we were here in the 2020s, and then blah blah blah. So look, 21 cents. Oh my good God, 19 cents. Let's see how we can get at. So far we saw 19 cents as the bottom. This is 2018. This is where this is where everything was going bananas. This is where XRP hit an alleged $3 and whatever cents. This one here capped it at $2.70. They alleged $3.65 was the all-time high back then. Or like, actually it was $3.83 or something like that. I'll look it up, but I believe it was $3.83 they said was the highest. And then right now, and then they had so many other things to say, but whatever. But yeah, look at that. Oh my good God. 2017. I missed 17 cents. Imagine buying an XRP, folks, at 17 cents. Oh, with $5,000 at 17 cents, you've gotten 29,411 XRP. That at $3.05, that would have been $89,705 with 88 cents from a $5,000 investment. Again, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You guys can do your own research and see what works best for you guys. There are some digital assets that I've done better, folks, but you guys have to look them up on your own. Or you guys can just keep watching my videos, and I will show you a lot of different things and allow you to make up your own mind, folks. Because at the end of the day, we're all here to learn. We're all here to evolve. We're all here to get this bag. But ultimately, folks, we're here to have fun and be happy and be healthy and have family and make friends and have fun. Like, don't forget that, folks. Ultimately, that's why I want to be very well off in life. It's because I want to be able to buy my time back. Some people think, oh, I'm going to make all this money work and I'm going to make this money, that money work. And that's all cool, folks. I don't want to be employed. If I have an employment, it's going to be because I created the empire, the infrastructure that's going to set that up. And it's going to be like that. But folks, you have to research about investing. You have to research about digital assets. It's not financial or investment advice, folks. This is life coach advice. Like, let me just coach you a little bit. Let me just preach to you a little bit. Just listen to me a little bit, folks. Just please listen to me. Learn about investing, folks. Because if you don't, you will be a slave to a currency that is debt. You'll be a slave because you're investing your time, your hard-earned time. That's the only thing you can get back, folks, in a currency that is able to be printed by the government anytime they want without your permission. I am KG, your host today, folks. This is Guevara Digital Assets. Until next time, folks, compared to what? Let's get it. It takes considerable knowledge just to realize the extent of your own ignorance. Thomas Sowell.